Welcome everyone. This song is Waylon Jennings with Willie Nelson, and I'm doing the version that's on YouTube from the, it's a live take by the Highwaymen, which had Johnny Cash and Chris Christopherson in the band in addition to Willie and Waylon. So it's real cool. It follows the song exactly, but they do some nice walk-ups, and it's a real cool version. For this song, what we're going to be doing is some cowboy strumming. So we're going to be plucking a bass note and then strumming a chord. So the chords are pretty basic. It's D, G, and A minor 7th. I'm going to play it in this form with the G string open. When you do this boom chukka type rhythm for country, is the first and fifth note in the initial chord. So let's take C, just a C chord. It's not in this song, but just for you to understand this, you got your C chord, and I'll take it up here. We're going to go 5 notes up from C, C, D, E, F, G. The G note and the C chord is your 5th. So if you were playing a C, C chord, G note, C chord. So if we're playing a D chord, it'll be D and A. So here we are with the open. D, down. Alright, now the key to the strumming in this song is you're going to hit your root note, boom, chuck, and then you're going to hit your next boom, which will be your A, and then you're going to do a chukka, which means a down up. So take this slow if you've never done this before. And then build up your speed there. Don't worry about speed, you'll get there eventually. Okay, that's the rhythm of the song. So we're going to go D, so our root note will be D, chord, A, and then down up. Then we're going to switch to a G after his intro, I think, is 2 measures, and then there's a measure of the D. So a measure would be D, A, and a D and an A, because you're counting 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and okay, so I think of it as D and A with the chords between as a measure. That's just how it works for me in my head. Then we go to a G. So again, to figure it out, G and D. Okay, just like it's the opposite here. So we got G and a D. So when we're playing a G chord, we have to play this open 4th string. So it's not real obvious in this when you do this rhythm, but it's there. Okay, your bass player will fill in the deeper D, but that's the rhythm. Okay, and then we go to an A 7th. So if we're playing A, that'll be A and an E. So that's pretty easy. You got your open 5th and open 6th. So we'll play our A 7th, so our A, and then our E. Okay, fairly simple. And then we're back to D to come around. Alright, so that's the whole first verse. Alright, at this point, Willie Nelson comes in, and it's the second part of the first verse, if you will. So he's still doing the D and the G and the A 7th, but what he adds during his part are some country walk-ups. So to do the walk-ups, you need to allow or change your timing, okay? So we've talked about the boom chuck, boom chukka, 1 and 2 and so we got boom chuck, boom chukka. Okay, so that's how the timing goes. That's a half a measure. You do that again, you got a full measure. Well, the boom chukka becomes the walk-up. B4 and becomes. Alright, so we're walking up to a G chord, and that G chord becomes our next boom chuck, and then D chukka. We're going to start out with Lone Star belt buckles and old-fashioned Levi's. All right, at that point he's doing the D, all right. Now we've gone to the 3. Now on the 4 we're going to hit that D again and then walk up to our G. So it'll be D and then E, F sharp, and then G. And that starts our next chord, all right, for the boom, boom, chuck. So it should sound like this. All right, and then we're going to move to an A7th. And he does have more, I think it's 3 measures, and then we go, or 3/4 of a measure, and then we go into D. Okay, and this has a walk up. Okay, so we're going to do 3/4 of a measure of a D. So if you think of the root note, D, and then A, and then D, and then our A will be the walk up, because that's the 4th part of the measure. So it'll sound like this. To start the chorus, and the chorus is very similar to when Willie takes over the verse. We've got the D, A, D, and our walk up to G. Okay, now what he's doing here is a little walk up to A. So we've done our G, D in the root note, back to G, and then we're going to give it a little, another G to G sharp, and then our A7. Okay, so that's the walk up in the chorus. That gets you to the A7, and then eventually back to the D.